just test it real quick and have a listen to myself. I sound good. Can I get everyone to do a quick sound off?
Hello.
Hello.
Cool. Just gotta give it a second for the delay. Cool. Yeah, you all sound good. I'll go ahead and mute that. Hello and welcome to DC30 and our Mythic Odyssey of Theros. D&D with an ancient Greek twist. I am your Dungeon Master, Romeo, and tonight I am joined with a few I'm short a few players this evening, as unfortunately Ali and Zoe are stuck in traffic, and so may not. It's a gridlock, so they may not ultimately be able to join us this evening. But we hope that they can get home safely and well. Violet will be with us eventually. She's just had a long night, and so maybe sleeping in a little bit. But that aside, I'm joined as ever by Tamara, Rebecca, Sammy, and Virla. Welcome, welcome. And I'm going to begin this session with a quick little shout out, or a couple actually. Witchgrove, thank you for the follow. We do so appreciate it. Welcome to the Hoplites. I will reiterate that you can, if you like what you see on this channel and want to see more, you can join our Discord, where you get in on all memes, resources. I post all the tokens I create or get made and have the permission to release, free to use, and as well as, you know, different tips and tricks on how to flavor your D&D setting for ancient Greece. But everybody watching may notice in the top right corner, the Siren's Wrath looks a little different. As I mentioned a few sessions ago, the boat received a little bit of an upgrade to its armor. And obviously that came with a visual update. And if anybody is curious why that looks familiar, it is in fact a replica of the Adrestia from Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Up to and including a few small tweaks of my own, which one of them being the plinth at the center is a map of Theros in the correct verse to scale. Because
not bad, Mr. DM.
Thank you. Because on the Adrestia, the map is one of ancient Greece. But I owe a world of credit and gratitude and just amazing praise to a very talented artist who goes by Panchi. You can find her on Twitch at Panchi_artist, or let me be sure, Artista, sorry. That's Panchi, PANSHI_ARTISTA. She's an incredibly talented RPGer, mainly of VTM, or Vampire the Masquerade, but she's also an amazing artist who did this in a few days, and owe her a ton of credit. Although I'll just for the sake of transparency, I'll point out that the mast is from something else. The mast is an existing asset I had the sail and mast were existing assets I had from Forgotten Adventures, which are separate content creators on Patreon, just in the interest of full disclosure. But that aside, I think I'm done with my announcements, and let's kick off with the next session of our Mythic Odyssey of Theros.
just weeks ago.
And
darling.
we're back. So, last we left off, Tempest, in the pursuit of pieces of divinity, divine relics to help you aid you in the fight against Timaret, the Murder King, leader of the Returned. Horrific undead creatures, once mortals who have escaped the underworld. It took you to the Isle of Skathos, an island whose location was secret, but not to your party, for you were able to reconvene with an ally, an old ally, Calliope, the half-nymph, the half-lampad nymph of death, who is also an oracle, capable of perceiving beyond what is possible in the veil of the nebulous nature of the Siren Sea. You traveled to Skathos, which is an island inhabited by Hithonia the Cruel, mightiest of the Gorgons. It was a fortuitous journey, all things considered. It seemed Thassa, goddess of the sea, was on your side, for a great hurricane seemed to line up perfectly with your sails and carry you across the sea with unnatural speed. And within just 2 days, you touched down upon the shores of Skathos. And I'll paint the picture. So the island itself is a sort of fairly flat, all things considered. There are sort of like hills, but nothing that would approach a mountain. It looks large-ish. It's hard to tell from your angle, but I'll say, Bithynia, make a perception check. I'll let you add your proficiency. Are you proficient in perception?
No, I'm not.
But-
Persuasion, but
So,
not perception.
What I was going to say is, because you're proficient in Navigator's tools, I'll let you add your proficiency bonus to this check. Because you're
Okay.
sizing up the distance.
Okay. And so, what am I adding? Because my proficiency would...
Wisdom plus your
Alright.
proficiency bonus.
That'd be a total of 13.
Hard to tell exactly. It looks like it may be about 10 miles wide, at least from the part you can see. You're not sure if that's like the length or if it's wider. You'd have to like sail around it, and you obviously don't have time for that. But you do have to do a little bit of maneuvering, as there's a... So the island is in the middle of an atoll. Is that what it's called? Like those like circular... Yeah, it's in the middle of an atoll. And there are gaps where you can sort of... Where the water's deep enough for you to get the Siren's Wrath through. But it takes you a second, but you finally beach the Siren's Wrath upon the shores of Skathos.
So it's about 10 miles here. I don't know. I don't know if anyone has any questions, but that's what I can guess from our spot right here.
You mean
Does
the
everyone-
island is 10 miles from one end to the other?
Potentially. From where we're at now, it could be longer, but here I know it's about 10 miles from what I can guess. Without being able to sail around, it could just be, maybe a mile inwards. Maybe this is the length of it, but from here I can tell that it's 10 miles-ish.
Calliope takes a few steps forward and looks up at the island, and this'll do. And she points to a fairly large cedar tree that's near the shoreline. You may want to step back. And she sort of almost does just lays her hands by her side, and you sort of, peering from the side, see her eyes begin to glow white, and her hair stands entirely on end. And the winds begin to buffet and circle around her as she levitates about a foot into the air, and the sand's starting to kick up. And she both, and like silvery light comes out of her eyes and her mouth as she stands there aloft. before on that same cedar tree. After about, like, this goes on for about 30 seconds, and then a opening splits into the middle of the tree of green energy, and almost like the tree is being ripped in half, and peering just beyond, you swear you can see lush forests of the sort of mountainous variety and sort of a mirthful landscape. And, like, it's like there's a horrible wood-splitting sound that occurs as the result of this. But you see a silhouette approach from the other side that starts to look a little bit familiar, as stepping through the split in the tree is a familiar red satyr. And as soon as he steps through the tree reconnects, like the branches, the trunk re-knitting itself together, before Calliope, and she collapses onto the ground, onto the sand, prone.
So,
What did I miss?
Scotinos. And so Bethinia's like halfway between Calliope, who's collapsed, and Scotinos. How did you get out here?
So, Scotinus takes a couple of steps forward. He looks a little bit woozy on his feet, having not travelled by Tree Stride for a very, very long time, and kind of takes a step forward, wobbles a bit, and then kind of has to just like balance himself, holding onto the side of the tree trunk, and he looks up and smiles. One of the first noticeable things you might see that has changed about his appearance, still seems very similar, but there is a new scar that runs across the bridge of his nose and around, sort of almost like in a semicircle oval shape around his left eye. But despite that, he has a big mischievous grin and goes, "Well, I couldn't have you all enjoy the fun without me."
Calliope stands up at that point and wipes a trickle of blood from her nose. That hurt more than I thought it would.
I'm surprised it worked at all. Thank you.
I had to make sure you didn't wind up at the bottom of the sea.
Not going to lie, it did feel a little turbulent for teleportation. I think I've only done that twice before, but that one in particular seemed a bit rambunctious.
Calliope turns to you guys and explains, as you may know, teleporting is dangerous at the best of times, a little bit safer if you have an anchor point, such as through the plants. Even so, trying to do it onto the Siren Sea is madness. However, if you have a beacon, magically speaking, and she gestures to herself, you can, it's a little easier to zero in on a location. Even so, imagine trying to shout loud enough so that someone 3 miles away hears you. Ah, fuck, and, like, Calypso runs over and, like, steadies her as she, like, staggers for a second.
I ran over to Scotinos and I gave him a big hug.
He lets out a bit more of an oof and a wince than you might have expected, and you get the impression that he's probably a bit worse for wear than when you last saw him, but he smiles and he returns the hug. Goes, "So, I have some news, but first and foremost, what are you doing over here?"
We are looking for some pieces of divinity, some weapons. We were told that there could be some pieces here. Maybe, potentially.
Right. Have you found any yet? Or I suppose I've only been gone a week, but...
You watch, Scotty, as Xanthia hoists up a beautiful golden bronze trident that has elements of metallic blue and metallic orange woven throughout, like a combination of fire and water. And the filigree matches appropriately with tidal waves for the blue and licking flames for the orange.
Ooh.
Yeah, Daxos really outdid himself. We had to go to the Forge of Porphyros himself, and that sure was a trip.
I don't doubt it. Is that made from the pieces, the broken pieces? I thought I recognized it. Wow.
It's a fully new weapon, but yeah.
Yeah,
it's
so
in
just
there.
for a point of order, it looks nothing like Dekela. The prongs at the side have been more widened with a crescent shape that has blades on the end that you gather may favor Xanthia's slashing-based style a bit more than straight up the thrusts of Dekela. This would be more of a halberd than a pike. And just in general, the entire design and the filigree on it is completely new. You gather the shards were melted down entirely and a new weapon was entirely constructed. Question. Calypso pipes her hand up. Who the fuck are you? And it's then you notice there seem to be 3 Calliopes.
You're the... Wait. 3? I expected 2. I did expect 2. The third one is new.
Oh. And Cordelia pipes up. Yes. I was dead for quite a long time, but they managed to find a way to get me back.
Cool. Well, hi. I guess, and he kind of like steps forward and like almost like drops like his satchel as he tries to kind of straighten himself up and look a bit more formal. Well, I'm Skatinos, of the Vale. I used to travel. I still do travel with Tempest. I was away for a bit, finding some. His brow furrows a little bit. Some information regarding the recent attack on Melites. I had a hunch. I needed to follow it.
You're a bit scary looking. I like it.
Scotty smiles, and again, you kind of see his slightly crowded and a bit janky yellowed teeth, despite his still very pale expression, pale skin, a bit of warmth to his face. He goes, I get that a lot. Quite a lot.
But yeah.
So, but which one? Calliope, yes. I think, yes, Calliope?
Yeah,
I point to one of them.
So you
that I think is Calliope.
You would recognize Calliope. She's dressed in the same sort of robes that you remember. The one who identifies herself as Calypso, it seems to be dressed in like a half plate that's like a bronze breastplate that has linothorax, pauldrons, and sort of like a whole complement.
Is that similar to what I saw when we had a glimpse through the mirror? When we looked at where Calliope is, and do I kind of get the same kind of... Okay, cool.
Cordelia seems to be in a sort of dark purple and black. It has elements of it of a dress, but it definitely looks functional in terms of like... it looks like you could fight in it.
Oh, well, nice to meet you all. I don't really have much news, I guess. Well, I kind of do. I mean, what time of the day is it? Where we are now?
Late morning.
It's not really morning conversation. We can save it to the evening. What's the plan now?
Well, we were just scoping it out for now. Yeah, we've just got here. You just got here. You're just in time. You got here exactly when you needed.
I did get the memo, as it were, that this might be something serpentine we're against.
Unfortunately, yes.
I did say to Calliope when we spoke in, I think it was a dream state thing. Yes. I think it's like the spell Bithynia you said once was cast on you to get information. Like you, so listened. We had a conversation while we slept. But it was there. I was told a little bit about it. Faraka will not be happy if I assist too much here, but I'm happy to try and see if we can talk them down and keep you all alive. But well, if you need my help, I'm here. But it'd be better if you didn't need my help, if that makes sense.
Well, when I was doing research on the islands and the Gorgon and everything, I kind of learned that Bithynia likes to make deals with people. So if we don't want to fight the Gorgon, we could try and make a deal with the Gorgon.
That sounds like a good idea.
It's an idea. I'm sworn not to harm Faraka's children. Doesn't mean I trust them.
Yes, but if we make a deal...
Well, the last Gorgon whose secrets we discovered were used to bring an entire city to near ruin under the ocean. And that was just one Gorgon with one of their secrets. All I'm saying is, if we're going to offer it something, don't offer it something too potent, because they can do a lot with their secrets.
Okay.
Do we have a range? Do we have a range of what's too potent versus not potent?
Yeah, like what?
Yeah, like is there scale here? Because I don't want to like go all in and give too much. But
what are we offering?
I don't know. I just had this idea, but when I was doing research, I found out that the last time somebody made a deal with the Gorgon, they wanted a baby.
Yeah. It's a combination that I fear that it would have to be something very potent for... I'm guessing there's one of these pieces of divinity here that the Gorgon has. It's probably going to want a lot to give it up. I don't know. I can teach it a new song I came up with, but I mean, I don't think that's going to work. Delessa, do you have any idea? You've been quiet since I arrived.
You kind of gather that she's well aware of the bonds that you guys have, so she's just taking a back seat while you caught up. But she steps forward at this point and says, "It's good to see you again, Scottinos. You have been duly missed, and your timing is impeccable. I don't have anything in mind to offer her. I have magic items like the rest of you do. I doubt that she would be interested in those, but we could always try. I would also like to take the path of peace first, so I am with you on that one."
what? Well, you know, and then Bithynia's going to think about what she might have to offer. I hadn't thought about this, but what about extending an offer to the peace negotiations that are happening soon?
Peace negotiations?
Calypso's like, you're kidding, right?
I mean, I asked for a scale, okay? I asked for a scale. If this isn't on the scale, it's what I have to offer.
Are we also going to invite Polukranos?
I mean...
You know that name. That's a world-ending hydra from legend.
I almost made a pact with a red dragon, so... I mean, really.
Almost!
It's so strange, because you look like the sensible one of the group, but everything I hear from your mouth speaks to the contrary.
Yeah. I like to weigh my options, okay? I don't always go with the nefarious one. I rarely do, actually, but you have to make sure that you've looked at every variable in the problem before coming to a solution.
A dragon.
It didn't happen.
Almost? Like, why almost? Like, in the realm of almost and fuck no? I thought you were like, fuck no.
Well, there was it was a very good deal. It was a good deal with the books and the writing,
A
and
dragon.
I mean,
Listen, when Bithynia sees something that she wants, she goes and gets it. Just ask all those college professors.
there's more than one way to secure an A, and if mine was faster than sitting through an entire semester, whose fault is that? Not mine.
I
That
almost
actually makes
dread
perfect
asking
sense,
what
but-
Bithynia means in this instance.
All right, well, just skipping over the dragon for a minute. The problem I'm worried is that Gorgons are, by their very nature, very, very wily. They do like to make deals. Doesn't mean that they're always going to be in our favour, if at all. They know a lot, so they are more likely to offer us something they know is not going to be as useful or is going to harm us in the long run. I'm not saying that both options aren't possible, but fighting is a bad idea. Negotiating with them is tough as hell. Is there any way we can just kind of circumvent the Gorgon entirely? I mean, do we know where this piece of divinity is in relation to this, where we are now?
Bithynia
Could we
will
maybe-
gesture wildly and say, "Here,
Well,
this general area."
I have a spell that can find things.
Yeah.
Okay, object.
You did learn as well, it's so you don't, in terms of like a coordinates, you didn't so much learn it, but you do know where it is, in terms of like a descriptive location that was part of,
The legend lore.
yeah. It's up to you to remember what I told you.
I described that. I've written it
No,
down.
that's not how this works.
Let me find my legend lore.
I mean, if Scotinus was ever told it, it's going to be in Scotinus's notes, and his notes are notoriously shit.
Scotinus wasn't told it.
That's all right then. That's fine.
Wait, was he told it?
I don't know.
You had just
my
left when
notepad
they...
still includes Oxos, Kid Killer, ? Pirate Hunter, Rogue Vessel, Coprius, Rest and Clear Out, Shard. Yeah, my notes are very poor. So don't rely on Scotty's notes. If someone's got more notes, I would probably advise using those.
My notes are not helpful. I wrote down a lot of things. I remember. I think it was near, like, I don't know, somewhere? I don't know.
Is it too late to purchase the Keen Mind feat?
Yes.
Fucker. Alright. Alright, well, the locate object will be, I mean, that's a fairly short, how big's the range and how big's this island?
1,000 feet is my range, but the island is 10 miles. But I run very fast.
You have a single vector of 10 miles. You don't know necessarily how big the rest of the island is. If you wanted Bithynia, you could maybe scout with Couplet or something like that. But it's
Yeah, I will do that. Can I scout with Couplet to see like if I can get an aerial?
Yeah,
view?
it would take about 20 minutes or so for Couplet to get a, like, fly high enough to get a decent aerial view. Or, no, 20 minutes is a bit of a stretch. 10 minutes.
Okay. So I'm going to just sit there, just roll back, I guess, as Couplet's going up and viewing and trying to take a better look up above to see if she can see how far or wide this goes beyond what she has in front of her.
Very good. You are able to get quite a good, view. I'll, 2 seconds. I will show you I'll send you a picture of what, Couplets... So, you wouldn't see it this well, but Couplet... You'd be able to extrapolate it from what you see from Couplet. and it'll give you a approximate location. I'll also like do a little mark showing an approximate location of where you guys are. All right, 2 seconds. Okay, I'm going to send that to you on Discord, Rebecca.
Back to the secrets.
You can share it in the player Discord. This is just because it's technically only you seeing that.
Oh, and the red dot is where we're at, eh?
Yeah.
Okay, so Hilera.
And these, just to clarify, the 10 miles is the longitude of what you're seeing.
The red area is basically the 10 miles.
No, so the 10 miles you saw would be the length of of the island that I just showed you the picture.
Oh, okay. And so she will, her eyes coming back, couplet landing on her shoulder. Hilera, I don't. This is quite a big island. Decently big. 10 miles. It is 10 miles. It's not 10 miles deep though. I would say it's probably like 3 miles, maybe 5 at most. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, I just looked through my notes, my digital notes, and they said near a beautiful garden made of statues. That's where it happened. And it should probably be near the water as well, because he got off the boat and then they had the conversation. And then the fight happened and then, petrified.
I was going to say, yes, the statues make sense. Hilera, remind me, do you have the restoration miracle?
Yeah. I do. And so does Delessa. Look, she has a pretty necklace. Drag you forward a little bit.
She grabs it and shows it off.
Great, awesome, cool. I mean, I'm guessing that one doesn't age when they're in that state. Perhaps we might be able to save some of the people that are. Well, it depends on if the statues are in a good condition, I suppose.
Yeah.
Don't you think that would anger Hythonia?
I was going to suggest the same. They are but her trophies at this point, right? She probably values them highly. Enlighten me, Scottinos. A Gorgon is renowned for the petrifying gaze. Are they able to turn that on and off? Or is it something that is always on?
Do I know the answer to that, actually? Romeo?
You might make a history or religion check, your choice.
15.
As far as you're aware, it is not something that they can flex. It just happens, but there is a range to it.
My understanding is it's very much akin to that of the basilisk. It is a natural response to their gaze. There are ways to prevent it happening beyond, avoiding their gaze. Blinding them is another way. If they cannot see, it is as effective as us being unable to see. But I think it is merely just their very nature that causes this curse into being. I don't really have a way that we could defend against it beyond the cover your eyes,
Botch chimes
only-
in and says, "I finally get to say I killed something with my eyes closed."
How do you kill a gorgon? How would we do it if we had
Well-
to kill it?
Well, they are, although they are seen as the daughters of Thurica, they are very much monstrosities, creatures that are of flesh and blood of some note. They can be slain. They don't have a godly immortality in that sense.
Hit it till it dies, basically.
Yeah. I don't recall of any weaknesses or vulnerabilities to them. If I had some of its blood, I could tell you, but then it would know we were coming. Part of the reason Calliope knew I was coming was I needed to find out where you all were.
Would Athonia have the foresight to see what is currently happening in Akros with the war? Would she know of that happening?
I don't think she has the news here.
I can't. I'm guessing that's the name of the Gorgon.
Yes.
You would know the
I-
name Hithonia the Cruel. It's
Yeah.
it's akin
Comes
to
up.
Jesus for you.
Oh, great. I don't believe so. Although I know that some can be magic users. It is possible one may, it could have had the potential to scry in that way. Whether or not they would have any inclination to is another thing. Gorgons, by their nature, like to keep to themselves and keep their things to themselves. They get curious when something new wanders into their nest, I suppose is the right phrase. But they're also very selfish creatures. It is likely they would have little interest in seeing the world survive or fall, so long as they get to keep their trinkets.
Right, now do we know where on this island Hithonia is?
No. I could find out. We could do 4 things. I could cast locate object, find the swords. I could cast locate creature on either the person that had the swords or Hithonia. And if she is in the area, I would get like a blip blip. Third thing is I could try and scry on Hithonia, and then we know where she is. Fourth thing is I could just send her a message. And just tell her we're here, like, we don't want to hurt you, but we're here. There's
Do you
many
think she
options.
I like
might
that
already know
last
that we're
one.
here?
Thanks, Butch.
What did you say, Xanthia?
Do you think there's a chance she might already know that we're here? Because if she's already aware of our presence, there's not really a point in hiding, I guess. Might as well announce our intentions that we don't want to harm her.
I doubt that she would care what that. It's more she would want to harm us, whether or not we have the same. That word is left to be seen. We could try and sneak, and if she knows we're here, then she'll let us know. Or we can try and debate with the Gorgon, or we can try and fight a Gorgon.
I debate with a Gorgon.
Yeah, I think I'd also prefer to avoid the fight if possible.
Okay, but like, what we gonna do?
Calliope once again staggers and... Sorry. Shits. I don't think I'm doing anything right now.
Do you need some healing? Are you okay, babes?
I'm okay, I'm just exhausted. Regardless, someone's gonna need to make sure we have a ship to come back to.
Wait. Calliope, come here, dearest. And I take her over to Butch. Butch, let her sit on your back for a minute. Just like carry her for a second. Let her have a rest.
I'm good. Look,
Buckios, manners.
Oh, right, sorry, milady. And he just full on picks up Calliope Princess Carrie style. I said I'm good! Oh, for fuck's sake.
Just have a rest, Calliope. We don't want you staggering around the place.
I'm more stressed now than I was a moment ago.
So, I kind of like slide up to the Bithynia and I go, so, how long have those two been a thing?
What?
Is that not... Oh, never mind. Right, let's... That's awkward, isn't it?
Awkward.
If we need someone to stay by the trireme, best be someone that at least can defend themselves.
Calypso pipes up. Don't worry, I'll make sure this heap of oak is still here when you get back. I'm not super keen on trekking through there either.
Well, I guess we try and locate some statues. Does a statue count as an object? Or rather, does a petrified person
Rules
count
as
as an
written,
object?
yes it would. It would count as an
Aye,
object.
happy days.
Cordelia will pipe in at this point and say, Calypso, Calliope, can I go with them? And like... Calypso's like, absolutely not. Cordelia, I'm not fucking letting you, like, no. And they basically get into an argument a little bit, and... Cordelia, we just got you back. I am not letting you trapeze into the mouth of a fucking, stonemason who's gonna mount you on her wall. But... You brought me back, and I get that you don't want to lose me. I don't want to lose you, but... I have to live now that I'm alive again, and... You can't keep me in a glass case. And there's actual tears in Cordelia's eyes for a moment as she's pleading. Calypso and Calliope just exchange looks. And Calypso looks at the rest of you. You bring her back in one piece. Single scratch on her and they'll never find what's left of you. And she just like holds her sword out to all of you.
We'll keep her safe.
Good.
Cool. Welcome to the team.
If I
What can you
could,
do
and then
again?
she'll lean in. Oh. Bithynia will lean
I have,
forward and say...
I have no idea what she could do.
So Bithynia's going to lean forward and say, next time, might I propose asking for forgiveness and not permission?
Who are you leaning to?
Cordelia.
Huh. Oh, I like that. I've not heard that before.
Makes it easier. But At the least you're able to go.
Before we embark, I would like to say something, if it's okay with you all. So you're all standing there on the beach, and she positions herself on the top of a rock and looks down on you all. Thousands of miles away, Maret and his undead army are laying siege to Akros. Innocent people are dying every single minute, and the onus is on us to put an end to their suffering. Today, we are tasked with perhaps vanquishing Ithonia the Cruel, the mightiest of Gorgons. For some of you, the thrill of potential battle might be coursing through your veins as I speak. For others, your hearts may tremble with fear. Whatever you may be feeling in this moment, know that we have each other. Know that we have the passion in our hearts to overcome this evil. And know that no matter what happens today and in the days to come, the names of everyone in Tempest will go down in the annals of history as the people that threw their own lives to one side for the sake of Theros and its people. Today is a battle we must win if we want any chance of winning the war. The world is watching, the gods are watching, and we cannot fail. We will not fail. Victory is absolute, and the wrath of Tempest is inevitable. That concludes the speech.
Very nice.
And
Thank you,
all,
Lisa.
you all gain
3
Just
levels
watch.
of exhaustion.
It wasn't that bad a speech. It was great.
You all gain 17 temporary hit points. Now I can only choose 6 allies, I believe. So
Inspiringly defeat. Yeah, 6.
yeah, so she won't choose herself. So we'll go Scotty, Bithynia.
That would be
Xanthia.
everybody who's going on the trip, since there'll be 7 of you, I think.
Is that right?
With
Xanthia,
Cordelia makes
Kira,
8, so
Akios,
one person would
Amalia.
miss out.
Okay. Who's she gonna choose? No, you're a very important.
Who do you
person.
like least? Who do you
No.
like least in Tempest?
No, 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 it's not that. It's not about that.
Already been named as getting a 10 hit points. It's already on my character sheet. I'm good. I'm in.
I mean, just
Botch puts a hand on
rationally,
your shoulder,
Bacchus has the
Delisa.
most HP.
Botch puts a hand on your shoulder,
so-
Delisa says, I can take a wallop and don't worry about me, love. And he pats your shoulder with a meaty shovel of a hand.
That makes sense. That does make the most sense. So yeah, everyone gains 17 temporary hit points.
Question. Do I have spell of healing in my helm right now? I wanted to, because
Do
I
you?
remember the last time we didn't put it in there, and then I know Hilaria said that she didn't want to put one in there, so I'm just clarifying if we have something or want to put something in there.
You
Because the
could've-
last time,
Sorry, go
you
ahead.
have. I think you
Isn't
have.
there
Go on.
isn't there a spell from Daxos in there? Daxos put a spell in there.
No,
think you
but
have
you also
Dimension
put
It's a fireball.
message
isn't
in
it?
there so she could reach out
wish.
to Calliope, right?
Yes.
Mhm. That was the last
True.
time.
So you would have had time to put something in there on the journey over. So
And
just
what
decide amongst
level can it be
yourselves.
up to?
4th.
4th level. Mm-hmm. I just wanted to get this out before we're mid-battle, if there is one.
You're learning.
Healing has been the go-to. Is it okay to go back with that, Scotty? Unless you have one that you want to bestow upon this helm of happiness.
So just to be clear, unless you want to blow a spell slot that you won't have in the fight, we're basically saying you did this on the journey, like a day prior, like you put a spell in there. So Scotty wouldn't have been. We're
Yeah,
retconning, or we're doing retroactive.
Yeah, that's
so
fine. It makes
Scotty
sense.
couldn't have.
Choice.
It would
If
be.
you want a
something that's-
healing spell, like mass healing word is my best 4th level or lower. I don't know what you've got, Hilera.
It's funny that you think I'm a healer. It's
I
cute.
I could offer healing wave, but that's only 3rd level.
So, which one did you said healing word from Doelisa?
You
No,
could probably cast it,
mass
upcast
healing
it to
word.
4th level, and put that in.
Yes, that is allowed.
So you could upcast Healing Wave and throw that in.
Except she's a paladin and doesn't have 4th
I
level
don't
spell
have
slots.
4th level spells.
Well, that's a you problem.
Not even with a level in sorcerer.
No, that only got me cantrips.
Oh really? Because okay, I'm surprised
you have to
because
start again.
you're level 12, and as a half caster that would be level. Oh, you're level
Yeah.
12 with 1 level in sorcerer.
Yeah.
So level 11 would level. Yeah, you're level 6 spellcaster. One more level one more level of anything actually would give you a 4th level spell slot.
Ayo.
Okay, so what am I putting in here? Mass healing ward?
Word.
Word.
Mass healing
A
ward.
healing war. A healing war.
The like
It's like, what
learned
is
scholar
going
with
in?
the ancient Greek equivalent of a
Like-
doctorate in Arcana, ladies and gentlemen.
All right,
The war
let's
just
go.
kept going on and on and on. No one was dying.
I don't heal, so I don't know. I'm like, healing war, okay. We'll just put it in there.
And
This is what happens when
Killing
you have
with
the
kindness, I
warlock
think
trying
that
to. You have someone who's like exclusive to playing warlocks trying to help with healing, and this is what you get. You get a healing war instead.
Healing ward.
yeah, right before you cast Elroy Platts.
Yeah, I've sent you the spell text. So you've got it.
Thanks.
So it would be a 4th level, so it's an extra D4.
Calypso does pipe up and say, I do have some utilities if you wish, and I recharge magic quickly, so it's less of a problem for me if you
What
ever
can you
need
do?
of anything. I can grant frosty armor that can help protect against damage. I can give you the ability to borrow knowledge from ancestors of the past. Sorry, yeah, Calypso said it. I can grant you a shroud of spirits that will empower your attacks. And I can also grant you starlight.
Is it a question? Is Amalia with us?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I might suggest that the frosty, if it's what I think it is, goes on one of our heavy hitters, either Botch or Amalia.
So it is Armor of Agathis, but so the helm is attuned to Bithynia. She would have to unattune it and give it to Amalia. If you...
How long does the armor last if you cast it?
1 hour.
Maybe keep the spell in, but if you pop that spell on one of us and we head off now, it gives us a brief. Like it's only an hour, but if we come across something in an hour,
I can only cast it on myself. I assume the magic of the helmet would permit you to cast it as if it were from myself, targeting yourself, so it would have to be from the helmet. I can't bestow it. It's only the proxy of the helmet
the healing
that
might
would
be
permit
more
it.
useful then.
So I'll remind you, Armor of Agathis also does damage to things that hit you.
Yeah.
So a 4th level Armor of Agathis, I believe, would be 20 temporary hit points. And 20 cold damage for each melee attack against you.
For an hour.
Just throwing it out there, you don't have to. And she just moseys on back to the ship.
Might be best that they keep hold of their spells. I say this as she's gone back to ship, that they keep hold of what they have in case they need it themselves. We're 8 or 7, I can't count, but they're substantially less than 7. So who's leading the way? Scotty says he kind of spins the glaive. He still has the same glaive that he left with. Still looking the same way. The only slight change is that there is now a wreath of some form of flower that seems to have been wrapped around, sort of like just underneath the sharp tip of the glaive. Likely that would break as soon as it was used, but it seems to have been something that's been woven around it.
You get the sense that the new cut he has may have been from practicing that trick. No, I'm kidding.
Ooh. No, it's distinctly hoof-shaped, actually. But yeah, who wants to lead the way? I guess.
Hi ho, Gorgon, hunting we go.
We're not hunting. Oh my gosh.
Oh.
We're trying to find your swords.
Oh, right. Lead the
So
way.
sword hunting we go.
Hi ho, sword hunting we go. I can't do rhymes. He just starts
It's alright.
bounding off.
It's alright. I think I've got one we can sing as we go. I was gonna sneak up on a seer, but then I got scried. I was gonna beat up a cook, but then I got fried.
Fuck. Roll for initiative.
I should never have fought a Gorgon, and I know why. I got petrified. I got petrified. I got petrified.
Rocks
Don't
fall,
jinx
everyone
it.
dies.
Yeah, I'm happy to kind of stick in the middle of the group, but whoever's good at finding where we need to go, let's go.
Yeah, like who's got the best survival, I guess.
Oh, Luke,
Bacchios.
that's me. That's definitely me. All right, so you venture off into the jungle. It's as close to a jungle as you could get in a Mediterranean climate. It's sort of those kind of more hot climate forests. Second. Oh, for the love of... Super. And you begin trekking onto the island. So what are you doing? Are you simply searching?
Bithynia is not having it. She is more preoccupied probably with leaves and sticks touching her and getting dirt on her feet. She's not having this.
It's Emperor's New Groove, like Yzma, like, these were my best shoes.
Like, I did not have a mount to walk, okay?
Oh yeah, where's Plummet?
Plummet almost died on the volcano, so Plummet is not coming to this event.
Why did you put Plummet on a volcano?
Plummet was in the volcano because...
Why did you put Plummet in a volcano?
Why did all of
in
us get put in
volcano.
the volcano? I don't know. This is a lot of shit's gone down, man, since you've been gone. We'll drink about it when we get back on the ship. Since you've been gone.
Is that the new Make 'em
Yeah.
Away?
Yes,
You know,
it is now.
Oh, no.
Bacchus almost fell into the lava and was...
Yeah. So, Scotty,
Not a
while
good
you're gone, small recap, I guess. Went to the mountain. There was a volcano. We didn't die. We got down this thing. I imagine she's like swatting at flies as she's like telling you this like nonchalantly. There was a dragon. Imagine that couplet is like
the
swatting
dragon
at
you
these
made a deal
mosquitoes.
with, right?
No,
Yes.
I didn't. Well, I contemplated it, but I decided against it. But it's still on the table. I bet he wasn't that bad. But
Can I insight check this? Damn.
Make an insight check.
So,
Also, Bithynia, make
11.
a perception check.
I got an 18 total.
You feel something bristle upon your hair.
Ah, gross. Oh,
And you
so I'm
guys
going
all
to
look... Yeah, you hit something heavy. And you guys watch as she basically swats at the katydid that's the size of a sparrow that had landed on her head. And it and it like flutters in your face, and then the insect flutters off.
I'm not happy with this. Yeah, so did you roll on the insight?
Yeah, I rolled an 11.
Yeah. So the dragon's up there. But anyway, I don't know, like that's quite possibly like the least interesting thing here, really. But we got the weapon, there was a bunch of puzzle stuff. We got a fort. You kind of got to see it, but you haven't seen your space, have you? Not yet?
Oh, yes, yeah, it was being built, I think.
Yeah,
I think I've yet to, yes, I think I've yet to actually see. I'm sure it'll be great. It feels weird saying that I live in a fort. Like I don't know, it just seems like I'm happy staying outside, like in nature. Flying straight past you just seems completely
yes.
I just
Guys,
wanted to.
I don't want to alarm anyone, but I found this. And Botch is holding what looks like a rag.
What are we looking at?
He
Use
holds it
diaper?
out.
Use diaper.
It looks like a rag, except it's slightly translucent. And it has like a slightly tessellated texture to it. It's like a sort of wispy white color. Anyone who wants to can roll a nature check?
Is it like us? Oh, natural 20!
It is a reptile skin.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
And Botch, like with his axe stored on his back, like puts his hand through and like sort of parts it, like the hole, because this thing has like a circular shape to it. The diameter, like when he like lays it out, the diameter of this sort of cylindrical skin is 3 feet wide.
That's a big snake.
It's good. You should wear it as gloves. You know, like.
Can I take that, please, and like fold it up and like put it in my satchel?
Yeah.
Thank you. So she'll just fold it up and put it in her satchel that she has.
It is quite dry. With a natural 20 as well, I'll say you get the sense that this is fairly old. It doesn't feel... It's not moist or anything. Like, it doesn't feel like a recent shed.
Moist.
I mean...
Damn, I have never seen you turn beet red so fast.
That was very quick.
It happens very easily. I turn red very easily.
Well, I'm taking it. I've tucked it away. So this is gonna be a big old snake. So I don't think that it'll be hard to find them wherever they are.
Oh, that's a thought. We're against a gorgon. They do poison. Everyone good against poison?
Absolutely not.
I can heal poison, but yeah.
That girl is poison.
That's probably something to keep an eye on. Pun not intended, because don't keep an eye on the gorgon. I just mean the poison.
Speaking of that, do we have like a plan in case the gorgon like shows up? Like, do we just close eyes and be like, hey? Like
that was my plan. But I was gonna do it a bit more like this, and he like takes a few steps back, and then just with his axe flails wildly with his eyes shut.
Oh god, you're gonna cut someone like an eye out, or...
Well, on the upside, I do know that we've got two fighters with 2 axes that can do a lot of damage, but I don't know if we could try and avoid bringing out the big axes. It would be preferred, but if we have to, we have to.
Bithynia, I think I've seen you use this spell before. The Psychic Lance spell. When you cast it, if you usher the creature's name, it homes on it, so you don't have to see it. So if your eyes are closed when you cast it, it wouldn't make a difference. As long as they are within range, it'll hit them. That'll be quite potent in this fight.
Yes, I agree. I have that, and I will be
Plot
making
twist.
use
She
of
swapped
it.
it out for a conjure blueberry muffins.
Yeah, good berries for everybody. No.
Any hugs in the chat?
Yeah, that definitely will be of use to Lisa. I have a high hope, and I have set my sights on not having to go into a fight. But should it get to that point, that will be within my arsenal of what will be used.
What are you laughing at?
What can I say? I'm funny.
I sent episode 84, the musical episode. Tamara sent plot twist. We find a karaoke bar on the island.
Yeah.
This is episode 87, I'll have you know.
I would be very sad if
Yeah.
I missed out on the musical episode.
Episode, everyone gets a level in Bard.
Oh boy. Please don't.
I think are we going towards this snake, or are we just continuing to look for signs of...
Statues.
I mean, perhaps maybe we should look for signs of things that aren't snake. So, things that came here once before.
Bithynia, can you do the cat thing again and scout about? I can't really see well from down here, not as well as from up there.
100%. But I think I will be stationary during that time. Will it be stationary during that time as I'm scouting?
So you
coming
can
out
walk,
today.
you just can't see or hear.
Okay.
So
then
you might have to
Are you
hold
not
on to
becoming
someone and get.
incapacitated?
No, just you're blind
Vision.
and deaf.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So someone would have to either like hold her hand, or someone could carry her, but she could theoretically move about.
Someone like to hold my hand while I do this.
I'll hold your hand, darling. I've done a lot worse with you.
Wouldn't be a first and probably won't be a last time. So then her eyes will roll back again, and then Couplet will go into the sky to see what is visible.
Make a perception check using couplet statistics.
Well, I did roll a 17. I don't know what their plus is, though.
You should have couplet stat block.
I'm looking for it. Hold on.
Should be under. It should be in Legend Keeper.
It should be in Didn't you put it in Foundry for me?
If I said I was gonna do that, then I apologize. I've completely forgotten. But
Google says +5.
Okay. So 22. 22
Okay.
for scouting.
As you float about, you spot a section of trees, maybe a mile out, because you guys have been walking for like 2 hours now, that are gray.
So
There's about
and I
a
can
1
speak,
mile radius. Yeah, you can speak. So there's about a 1 mile radius of trees that are gray and sickly and almost slightly withered. You
When
swear
we're
you
walking on
almost
the island-
see like powdery like vapors of like, it almost reminds you of like faint plumes of smoke just emanating slightly off the trees.
But I can speak, correct?
Yeah.
So okay, I can't see or hear.
Yeah. So you speak slightly louder than you should.
No, Lisa. In that direction over there, that's where we need to go. That's the direction.
How
We need
far
to
is
go.
it from our current location? Would you guess?
Oh,
Oh, you can't hear me though.
And then I'll just keep talking because I can't hear you. I don't know if we want to tell the rest of the group, but it seems that, and then she'll whisper towards, I guess, what she can see. It seems like everything's dead over there. And then can you like squeeze my hand twice if you can hear me?
Yeah, so you said that before, so I do that.
Okay. Do you want me just squeeze my hand once for yes or twice for no if you want me to have Couplet come back?
Squeezes it once.
Okay. And then okay. Well, just and then she'll speak louder. I don't know who can hear me. And then she's probably shouting. It's over there. I don't know how far, but it's not too far off. We'll be able to get there, I guess, before nightfall. I'm guessing, maybe.
Yeah.
But
So
it
it
does
would be-
seem a bit dead.
If we want to take the utmost caution, I'm fairly stealthy, and I can imagine Cordelia is as well. We can scout ahead instead of the whole party going. Or we can go together, either way.
I don't feel like we should split the party in a.
we need to form
Yeah.
a phalanx and just close ranks right now, because we don't know what we're up against.
And and in this process, I'm bringing Couplet back, right? And
Yeah,
I still
yeah.
can't hear. Okay.
We'll take her like 5 minutes to get back. It's not...
Okay.
She's without being encumbered by something like the ground or like trees and stuff like that, flying back is relatively straightforward.
Could I make a perception check to kind of see if I see any petrified statues?
Make a perception check.
Okay.
Yes, either way, we go forward slowly if we're trying to keep quiet.
10?
I rolled a 10. Yeah.
You don't see anything here.
Okay. Just keep moving. Do we want to move stealthily?
Well, that's what I'm saying. I myself am pretty quiet when it comes to moving around, and I guess Cordelia is as well, but not everyone has that same luxury.
We could try.
Yeah. Or at the very least, if you go on ahead a little bit and we follow quietly shortly behind, and you give us a signal if you come across something.
That works. Bithynia could. You don't have to walk into her, but if you have, couplet. If you have couplet still fly above, so we can track her flight pattern towards the area.
How heavy are the clouds at the moment?
So it's a few lone clouds here and there, but otherwise it's a clear sky. It's hard to see though because the trees are getting thick.
Okay.
I mean, I ask Cordelia if she's okay with that, though. Don't want to presume. Romeo's deep.
Sorry, say that again.
I'm asking Cordelia if she's okay with stealthing ahead with me.
Oh yeah, that's all right. Sounds like fun.
I'll keep you safe.
Alrighty.
I'm still holding on to the hand, though, because I've been holding on to your hand, and we still are using couplet to scout ahead.
You can just tell couplet to do it by herself. You don't have to. You don't have to be walked into her.
You can always take a moment to just kind of peek back. I'm guessing it's that you can kind of turn it off and on.
Yeah.
If that works for you.
Yeah, you can turn it off and on.
Okay.
Okay. So imagine like we're staying pretty close together, but maybe there's like a 30-foot gap between me and Cordelia and like the rest of the group.
Okie dokie, roll a stealth check, and so will she.
Okay. As she breaks away from the group, Delisa will clutch her holy symbol and watch over me, my lady, and cast guidance on herself.
All right, and you scout ahead.
I rolled a. What number is that? 27.
She rolled total balls.
Oh no.
But you slink ahead, bit by bit, and you, both of you, with the rest of the party not far behind, travel for about another hour.
Like every 30 seconds, Delessa, you hear a voice in your head. Just scream. If anything's wrong, just scream. We'll come and help you. Just scream. And then it stops, and then it just keeps repeating every 10 seconds. And it alternates between...
Delisa, your next
Delessa and
stealth check
Cordelia.
will be at disadvantage because you're struggling to concentrate.
Oh no.
No, I'm not going to say it's a disadvantage, but the DC will be affected maybe ever so slightly.
Okay.
After about an hour, you and Delisa and Cordelia both see it, and it's weird. It's like one biome ends and the other begins. There is just... It's not like, oh, you start to see a few petrified trees.
It's just, yeah.
It's just boom. Like there is just a section. Almost like you could almost draw a line. And all of the trees, the leaves look like dried autumn leaves, except they're still upon the branches and of a gray color. And the wood itself looks like used charcoal, or like wood that has like the remnants of a log fire, that sort of gray crackled wood. And there is a heaviness in the air.
Okay. I feel like she would put a hand up and clench her fist to say to those behind to stop, and she would cast message to whoever's leading the peloton, for want of a better word. We're here. Wait for my signal. Yeah, I guess I'll make a perception check to see if I can spot any signs of life.
Make a perception check.
Guidance myself again. $18.
You see a sort of pale gray, sort of like almost white, sort of like a whitey gray object that's alit upon a branch not far from the first petrified tree. And as you peer closer, you see it's in the shape of an owl. It looks like there is a statue of an owl perched on the tree.
I whisper over to Cordelia. Do you see that? Choke you, Romeo.
Oh, sorry. I keep forgetting that it's Cordelia. I'm meant to be Cordelia. Yes, I see that. Maybe we regroup with the others and proceed together?
Yes, there doesn't seem to be any other life forms around here. None that I can perceive anyway. So, stealth isn't the most important thing right now, I guess. I'll message them to come forward. Then she'll cast message again and whisper back to, I don't know, maybe to Lair at the front.
Takes a moment. You guys regroup. And I presume you venture into the petrified trees.
As Scatinas goes past, he is going to kind of sidle by one of the trees and kind of give it like a gentle tap with one of his slightly jagged nails to determine if it is, like the consistency of stone or of burnt wood.
It's almost a middle ground. You don't get the sense that this was the direct result of the gaze. It can't affect plant matter, for it doesn't have eyes. But perhaps residual just effect of such a powerful creature's innate essence and ether just seeping into the environment. In a way, not unakin to how the innate magics of perhaps something like a dragon begin to shape their environment around them as well.
I feel the stark contrast to the lands I've been travelling less than a day ago. And I feel the weight a bit more. But I say nothing and I keep up with the group.
Is there a tree in the area that's still alive?
Yeah, so there is a line, like there's a line where the live trees end and the petrified trees begin.
Okay. Can I go to one of the life plants?
Yeah.
I'll just tap it and say, "How ya doing?" And I cast Speak with Plants.
Okay. You release the magic into the tree. And after a moment, you feel like a breath get seeped in. Before you hear a response.
Muted right now.
Can't hear you now.
Did it just say hi? I heard hi.
Yeah, I heard hi.
Hello. How polite. It's a polite tree. Dead on the outside, but maybe not. Without manners.
Sorry, I had to wait for everything to catch up. Do I sound normal or...
No, you got your voice changed on.
Okay.
Oh, tree
How about
beard, what
now?
has gone?
Okay,
What has happened
good.
to you?
Nope.
It's a tree. It's a tree. Discovering it has a voice for the first time.
One. Hello.
Hi, what's your name?
I don't think I have one.
Oh, that's sad. Do you want a name?
Yes. Can
Okay,
you give
I think
me
we're-
one?
So I was thinking Patty.
Patty.
Yeah.
Short and sweet. Like you.
Hmm.
I like it.
Okay, hi, Patty. My name is Hilira, and I'm just trying to.
Hilira.
Hi. I'm just trying to figure out where the petrified people are.
I mean, take a wild guess.
Honestly, Patty, I'm not that wild.
Follow the dead trees.
Okay, but
At the
is that
heart.
what? Okay. We just have to go to the heart, but is that where the creepy Gorgon is as well?
Yes. The death and the stone emanates from her. Her essence bleeds into the land.
Hmm.
Travel to the heart of the forest of stone. There lies the cruel one.
Do you not like the petrification of the forest? Or not here for it? Is it not a vibe?
It is akin to having the desiccated corpses of your family mounted for you to eternally bear witness unto.
Oh. I've never really had most of my family members die, but there is a war going on in my home right now, so I could go back and, maybe my family is dead. I don't know.
I hope that it is not the case.
Yeah, that would be very sad.
I would be sad for you.
Patty, that's so nice. I'm honestly very sad for you that your family has died.
Thank you.
Can I do something for you, Patty, before I leave?
There is a weed that has wrapped itself around my trunk and branches. It is a parasite plant that suffocates me slowly.
Oh.
If you could remove it, I would be most grateful.
Patty, anything you need, I'll do that, but I just also need to go tell my friends that a tree really wishes Zithonia dead. But I start finding
Very
the weed
well.
and
Good luck.
okay, bye.
And with that, the magic ends. And yeah, you can see what he's talking about. It's one of those like parasite trees that like wraps itself around like actual trees.
I try to remove
Yep.
it.
Takes you a second. Have to use your sword for a bit of it, but it works.
I turn around and I just go, Scottinos, Patty, I point to the tree, really wants Zithonia dead, and we became friends, and I know we're friends, but now
I pat you on the shoulder. Go. So, where do we go?
Oh, we have to go there. We have to go to the heart, Patty said. Oh, I wanted to ask Patty. I just start walking away mid sentence.
Yep, I've
Mood.
missed this, and I follow.
Very well. One after the other. You continue trekking. take long. You round a bend, and all of a sudden you are startled in shock as these enormous fangs and several rows of teeth are staring at you. And you almost draw your swords ready to fight before you realize it's completely still. As you're staring at an enormous petrified statue of a hydra. Full on you. It's snarling in its final roar. And it continues. A lion here. A wolf there. A chimera. And then people. Anyone who wants to can make an insight check.
Teen. 17,
17,
sorry.
sorry.
I got 19.
I
13.
I'm going to just kind of go to each of them. I'm just kind of get an idea of the age or the condition of the statues.
It varies. The Hydra is draped in vines with an overgrown. The Chimera looks fresh.
The humans or the people?
The same. It varies. I'll say this, and with the insight checks you rolled, you go to the humans that look more overgrown, and they're a bit apart from the ones that look fresher. The ones that are more draped in vegetation, also not vegetation. Wait, this is a petrified forest. What am I saying? There wouldn't be any vines. Sorry, I forget what I said. There's no way to tell which ones are fresh and which ones aren't. But with that insight check, you do notice that maybe 30% of the human statues are in either warriors in displays of battle, or, people looking horrified. All the others are smiling. Many of them are in poses akin to like a genuine statue. Some even have a look of grinning, almost dumbstruck prostration.
Seems like he has the ability to charm.
Scotty, roll a history check.
14.
Sorry, I lost my notes. 1 second. You recall... Sorry, what'd you roll? Sorry?
14.
You in particular would remember this tidbit of information. It was shared to you by Penelope as she was brushing you up on extended histories of the disciples of Fatica. When Hethonia came to the island of Scathos, the inhabitants worshipped her as an avatar of the god Fatica, which she was in many ways. The cultists eagerly offered themselves up to the Gorgon's petrifying gaze, in the hopes of gaining Fatica's favor.
I kind of stopped by one of the frustrating statues, kind of looking at their gaze, looking at their look of admiration or love towards whatever it is that whatever fate they embraced. And Scotty kind of shakes his head sadly. very like them to take advantage of those that do not understand.
Heliota, what's your passive perception? I know yours is the highest.
15.
Okay, never mind.
And I think Bacchios's and Delesa's are also 15.
Is yours just okay? Still though, not enough.
There's a lot of people here. Some may be salvageable, I guess. Be a long task.
I do feel compelled to use my magic, but it is a finite resource, and I'd rather save it for you all.
I fear that some of these individuals would be less than willing to give up what they gained.
Now,
But
hear me
also-
out. Oh, sorry, I didn't realize you were continuing, Scotty. Continue.
But if this does not go well, and we do have to end this being, we'll have the time needed to restore them. But if we're just trying to get the piece of divinity and leave, we won't. I hope they found what they wanted. And I again join up with Delessa. Well, we're getting close. Are we sure we want to barter? Rather than sneak.
We could sneak. We could try and sneak.
Is it possible to sneak past a snake, though? Like, don't they have, like, vision and, like, they can sense heat? I mean, how does one sneak past a snake that is... And then she'll, like, fumble through her bag and hold up. That has scales this big.
Surely we just slither past.
Right now, hear me out. If we use, Delisa, your restoration magic, what are the odds that Hydra is gonna be pissed off with Hiphonia enough to team up with us?
Oh.
I think if we're the first thing the Hydra sees, it...
Will probably kill us.
Yeah.
Oh,
Wait,
good
did
point.
Did you still have a bounty for it? Oh no, we dealt with that, didn't we?
You dealt with that. Fate of the world, getting a piece of divinity, but we can make a quick pit stop to check a bounty off.
Well, I'm just saying,
Yeah, we got
it's currently
time.
petrified. We'll just, on the way out, let's chop it to pieces. Can you restore petrified pieces of Hydra?
We can certainly try.
I'll say you can, but it is one casting per piece.
Well, that'll set Penelope up nicely. But I digress. As you said, these are trophies after all. So let's see if we can sneak out first or barter.
If we do try to make a deal, are you to take initiative on that, Scotinos? You seem to know more about these creatures than the rest of us.
I do, but I don't feel that puts me in any better position. I just have an idea of what kind of things it would accept up in trade. First,
I could try. Akros is my home.
If I was in the Gorgon's position, and I was looking for the most interesting or valuable thing that we had to offer, I think I would choose to take the trophy of the one that has most recently cheated death. And I look to our the twin that has joined us.
Oh, you mean me?
smart.
Well, I'm not saying we're going to do that. I'm just saying that's probably the most interesting one of the lot of us.
I guess that makes sense.
But that's kind of what we'd be trading, most likely, or what it's most likely going to want to trade first.
So about that scale, I don't think that was within the rules that we were given when we said that we would leave with her and come back.
Yeah, I'm not saying that's what we're going to do. I'm basically saying the bartering is still not a good thing. I know I'm here to kind of talk us through how to barter with the Gorgon. My best advice is you probably don't want to.
The best way to barter is to not barter with the Gorgon.
Yeah, so we get the thing we need and we leave. I mean, correct. Like, if someone thinks I'm wrong, I'm happy to be corrected. But that's what I most likely think is going to come of this, or it will want. Well, anything else that we have to offer, it could simply take from us, if it so wished to. At least in its eyes, it could.
Right.
Do you know if there's like any material things this Gorgon could be interested in? Like,
so if you had a shiny bauble it wanted,
yeah,
why would it barter with you?
fair point.
And there is something to be said of an expectation of we've already encroached on its home. It would feel entitled to take what it wanted. I mean, who knows? Maybe this one is different, but I'm guessing the addendum of the cruel has to mean something.
Do you think a pact would maybe be something it could be interested in?
No doubt that was something that the old fishy did. We saw what happened to your home as a result of that. What pact would we want to offer it?
I don't know. Just trying to think of something that can get everyone out here alive.
I could give perhaps maybe. And I reach into my pouch and I pull out the parchment which I'd copied the notes taken from the vial of poison or whatever that infected Thassa, and the copied notes of the antidote.
Very well.
I mean, the only first thing that I would think is they are very selfish. Perhaps something that belongs to one of her sisters would be very tempting. I cannot say this is a good idea, at all. But
I don't know if that's something we should be willing to give.
I'm not going to argue with you. But that could be something it would be interested in. And the benefit of parchment is, if you try and petrify me, it's a bit hard to read.
I agree with that.
So you're proceeding?
No!
We're staying here.
My solution was offering them part of the negotiations that I've already spearheaded with the other cities, and I don't know why giving them a voice.
She's already got us petrified because we're stuck in analysis paralysis right now.
Harder than any of the puzzles you gave us. Just like.
I know, I'm loving it.
If we do try to take swords from under her gaze, I do have a distraction in mind would help that.
Yeah.
But even then, I do agree with Bethany said that it will still be hard. She obviously is very watchful of her territory.
I'm just going to take another look around just to see whether or not we are still kind of safe at the moment.
Make a perception check.
I'll join in that.
20.
Team.
So there is much that can be done to obfuscate one's presence. Duck here, or a application of charcoal and ash in order to blend into your environment there, but it is hard to mask the glint of eyes. And Scotty, you spot a pair of squinting, doing its best to conceal itself, but nonetheless present, of pair of yellow, lamp yellow eyes between the trees, about 30 feet out. And as soon as you lock eyes with it, it breaks its, like, stillness, and you watch a humanoid figure scamper back through into the trees.
Shit.
Do we hear it scamper away,
Yeah.
or
Like, it dropped everything and started running.
is that a scout of hers, perhaps?
How far away are they?
They were like
Creature that's
50 feet away.
Can I try and run?
You can.
Oh yeah,
I want to try and catch their spear.
And you're much faster than it.
you're fast as fuck, boy.
As you run, you see there is this sort of humanoid figure, bald of head, female, dressed in a simple chiton, and it looks like it's covered itself in ash in order to camouflage. It has a spear on its back, as well as a sling at its side, and it's just running, trying to scramble away.
Can I try and grapple?
Sure. Go ahead and make a grapple check.
Okay.
2 seconds.
All my dice are for the train.
Oh, that's really bad. It's a 6.
I'll give it a minute. And it's going to contest it with an acrobatics check. That's a total of 10. So, you grab this thing by the arm, this female figure, and it turns to look at you. But you are startled and almost let go on instinct, because whilst the features are ultimately human, the nose is pushed down like a snake.
Lord Voldemort, is that you?
Kind of. There is a rim of scales that goes around the eyes, and then what you thought maybe would have been bits of petrification just attached as part of the camouflage is actually a sort of like this row of scales that go down the neck, and it like you see viper fangs. Like the only teeth in this one's mouth are a pair of viper fangs. Everything else is gum, and the mouth unhinges almost unnaturally wide. And it goes, and you let go, and it scampers off, and it continues running.
I run again.
You run again.
God.
Okay.
Jesus, how far away have you got from us?
At this point, it's initiative.
Oh no.
Oh.
So it does get us. So it's gonna get to move its movement and dash because it startled you, and sort of that was part of the grapple check and succeeding on it. So it's now, It's now 60 feet away from you. So now we roll initiative. Okay. What'd you roll?
12.
You go first.
Okay. I'm running, and I'm gonna try and grapple it again.
Make another grapple check.
Okay. Ah! I threw my dice almost on the floor. That's a natural 19.
Let's go.
Succeeds. You grab a hold of it, and it grabs.
Uh-huh.
It looks wildly, and it's sort of like it almost inflates its throat slightly like a howler monkey. It goes, and like just seems to cry out upwards.
Can I try and cover its mouth?
You can. I'll say make a separate grapple check to cover its mouth.
13.
Succeeds. It does get 2 out though before you're able to react.
Mm-hmm. As I do this, I speak into its mind and go, I do not wish to harm you. I need to talk to the cruel one.
Do you let go of its mouth, or you can't respond, obviously?
No. No, I hold on. It will nod. If it understands me.
It bites your hand. The fangs sink into the palm.
Okay.
You take 1 point of piercing damage, and I need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
Oh, tits. 15.
Succeeds. You are not poisoned.
-1.
You do, however, see,
I...
emerging from the trees, 7 other humanoid figures. 2 of them, about 4 of them are similar to this one. Some of them, though, seem to have other elements of teeth and look like vampire fangs, but they sort of are more akin to... A few of them have hair, some in braids, but there's about 3 female and 1 male of these serpentine humanoids, all dressed similarly with similar weapons, as they hold their spears out towards you. The other 3, however, one of them looks slightly more human in appearance, as in it doesn't have the pushed in as a normal humanoid nose. Its hair is sort of, everything is shaved except for this one metallic clasp that's about 3 inches long that has like a ponytail, almost like Zuko from Avatar. What catches you about this one is that where its arms should be are on each side at least a dozen writhing snakes for hands. And it sort of snakes its arms out at, these almost like tentacles where its arms would be, and at the head of each one is a viper's head. And the other 2 are about 10 feet tall. Wait, 10 feet tall? Sorry, 2 seconds. I'm lost my place here.
Does anybody know that song? I regret the thing I did.
Oh no.
You ran off, and then you ran off again. Like 2 lots of running off at Lyra speed. So we are. It's
and sorry, the final 2 are more muscled male humanoid figures, as in full like Botch's size and build. Each one is wielding a kopesh, which is a sort of an ancient sickle-type sword. Bare-chested with nothing but sort of like a pleated, also like a Grecian skirt and sandals. Where their heads should be is a full-on muscled, like scaled neck and a straight-up snake, like as in like an actual snake, giant snake's head. And these ones make a and they just bear these enormous like snake heads that bear their fangs out at you. And they all brandish their blades at you.
Cool.
The one that's got the tentacled snake arms for hands. Stupid. Stupid girl. And it bears its fangs at you. Iliada, roll a history check.
Yes.
Or Arcana, your choice.
That was a natural 19 again. History, you said, so 24.
24. You recall that the temples of Gorgons, like all temples, need acolytes to maintain the temple, to offer sacrifices and prayers. The most zealous and fanatical acolytes of Varika that would devote themselves to being an acolyte of a temple of a Gorgon can find themselves over time changed from it, taking on serpentine characteristics. These eventually, it can manifest in different ways, to different severities. These zealots eventually cease to be human entirely and become variations of a new species, or a different species entirely, known as Klimaka. Out of character, my version of the Yuan Ti.
Is that a playable race unlocked, or
maybe for campaign 2?
Okay, I'm still grappling that one, and I will say, I do not wish you harm. I wish to speak to the cruel one.
Make a persuasion check.
Now you roll bad. Now. Keep rolling 19s and now you roll bad.
That's a 10.
He's gonna make an insight check. The leader, the one with tentacles for hands, so with snake tentacles for hands, seems to be speaking for them and leading them. Where are the others?
Now, what would be the fun in me telling you?
Your life?
Honestly, life is overrated.
As you wish, and he starts advancing towards you. As what are the rest of you doing?
Running in the direction that Hilaro ran off, but I'm slow.
Yeah, so
yeah, they would probably be a bit like also as you run something like.
I'll say at this point, you guys burst into the clearing and you see this scene. Botch is like, finally, and brandishes his axe. Does anybody do anything?
Can I just yell stop? Like, no, stop. Like, because we weren't here to be aggressive. Yeah. We were here to get to one person.
Yeah.
No.
I'm just being Botch right now, what he would do, so.
No.
Yeah. No, then you can stop him. I'm just saying, like, that's what I'm RPing right now.
Botch. Yes. No. So I'm gonna run behind Botch and be like, no, stop. We're trying to be diplomatic. Like, we're trying to just find the one. These are not that one.
Xanthia is casting calm emotions on the group of people.
The one with the snakes for arms will counterspell. At what level is calm emotions?
Second.
Yep. Cancels it out.
Can
And
I
they
do
all
something?
raise their swords higher because they just watched you cast magic. What are you guys doing?
Can I persuade them? Like, I just want to say, like,
What do you say?
stop. Like, no. No, we're not here to fight. We're not here to fight you. We do not want this. We do not want... We're not here for you.
Make a persuasion check. It's going to be a higher DC because the first persuasion check failed.
And I have advantage, so do I get to roll twice?
From what?
I don't... Well, hold on.
You have advantage when you're in a city.
Oh, that's the only time. 16.
16.
And I'm like out of breath. I don't run, but I'm like, like shit. Can we not? Like, hold on. Got the brains here. If we can, please, like, can we just chill?
If you try anything, well, we have not eaten mortal flesh in quite some time, and we are famished.
Well, I'm
But they
not
lower their
trying...
swords. So you succeeded, just to be clear. They just
Okay,
gave you a fuck around and find
Breather.
out.
What's the terrain and environment like in this specific area?
Petrified forest still.
Okay. No like ruins or anything like that going on.
Not yet.
Okay.
But they will move to surround you.
So
I'll
she
let
will...
Go of the
Yeah.
guy I'm holding. Gal.
Yeah, he scampers back.
And can I sort out now that I've, like, spoke to them that I can tell who's, like, in control?
So the one that has snakes for arms seems to be the one that's in control. I'll link you guys a picture. I'll see if I can. So yeah, if you guys go to the players board. Oh, wrong thing. Ah, for fuck's sake. 1 second. Cool. I'll turn on the visuals board. Oh, for fuck's sake. So you guys will be able to see it. I'm just gonna quickly. Interact. Sorry, audience, 2 seconds.
I guess while this is going on, Athena's just going to look around and, like, size up this group that is now surrounding them.
Cool. So you guys see the artwork I pasted into the players board?
Oh wow.
Ooh. Tribal one.
Scotty, I'm gonna murder you, your character specifically for that pun I just read in the chat. Yeah, so that's what the leader looks like.
I'm just saying that as well. That's great.
The two big boys look like so. With obviously a skirt and not pants, but same kind of armor decal and design.
Mm-hmm.
And the remaining ones are Yuan-Ti purebloods, basically. Or Klimaka purebloods.
Any of them look injured?
Make a perception check.
$23.
Nope. But they move to surround you. And they begin marshalling you in the direction of further into the petrified forest.
How many is there? Sorry, just
7. And they don't try to grab you or anything. They just rely on the fact that they have basically closed ranks around you and are trusting you to cooperate. You walk for maybe 10 minutes in silence before you walk up a small hillock, and then you crest over it. You see it. A palpably ancient stone temple. The stone is incredibly worn, like a ruin, but you don't see any major... There are cracks throughout, but there are not, like, sections that have collapsed or anything that you might expect to that degree from a ruin. It's intact. It just looks ancient. It's a...
As we're
reminds
walking.
Elements of
Oh,
it
God, sorry.
remind you of temples you might have seen within Meletis or Akros around, except stone carvings of vipers and snakes and heads of gorgons, bared, adorn it almost like filigree.
As we're walking, kind of casually, sort of like, I'd probably move somewhat towards the back. I'll take out my serpentine dagger and just almost like absent-mindedly push the blade a good 2 inches into the hand. Remove it with a bit of a and sheath the blade, and then I just kind of rub the wound with my hands. And as we're walking, I'm just going to casually kind of reassuringly give each member of the party a squeeze. I am using 3 sorcery points to perform 3 subtle casts of infused blood. And I will do this on...
You guys start tripping balls.
I do this on Bithynia, Delessa, and Xanthia. It's not a huge thing, but what's going to happen there as well? So you each get advantage on saving throws against non-magical disease, and the first time that either of you take damage that reduces your hit points to less than half of your maximum, there's an eruption of light and energy, giving you 4d6 temporary hit points, which disappear after a minute, and each creature of your choice within 10 feet to make a Constitution saving throw will take 2d6 radiant damage. I will pop this in the chat.
Very well.
For those.
You're led into the temple. And you are made to walk through a cavernous passage. And I'll say as well, as you walk throughout this temple, you see a veritable garden of statues. You see a humanoid figure, except 60 feet tall. in the last throes of swinging a sword. Other than that, just scores of humans and satyrs and minotaurs just in various poses.
Do I see any miras?
Make a perception check.
Okay. $16.
You do not. And as you step into the temple, winding through, you wind first through a cavernous passage for a moment before it opens up into it looks like a grand temple to Harika, worn down and crumbled with age, but unmistakably splendid. There are tiled designs upon the ground that indicate sort of snake imagery. And they lead you throughout this temple to a spiral staircase at the other end. And I'll reiterate, throughout this temple you see different statues. Except these ones look more unique. You spy figures in armor or in mage robes. They look like heroes. You get the sense this is the special collection. And I'll switch up the ambience. And as you step up this spiral staircase, you enter into a private chamber. That looks like a long throne. Seconds. Sorry about this. And it's a long corridor that has initially a step that goes down. And throughout you see scattered different statues, all of like impressive warriors and mages and rangers and rogues alike. Upon the ground is a painted pattern of two coiled vipers that stretch along this entire corridor. On either side of you are these shallow pools of water that have pillars and adorning them within the pools, and these enclaves in the walls with these enormous braziers lighting. And as you step forward into this almost semicircle kind of room, you are greeted by a painted mural of these coiling enormous snakes fanning out upon the floor, and the sidewinding forms crest up into statues emerging from the ground of these bared-fanged snakes. Almost like the ones in the Chamber of Secrets in Harry Potter. But that's not what catches your attention. You see an enormous throne made out of mishmashed, almost uneven gray-white rock that emerges from the ground, this enormous throne. And it almost looks like it's made out of dripped candle wax. But as you squint for a moment, you realize this is not sort of uneven rock. It is dozens upon dozens of mortals, of petrified mortals, squished together and made to press into the form of a throne before they were petrified in place. And upon it, you see the large form of Hithonia the Cruel. Now I'm going to activate the map just so You guys know what you're looking at. Just FYI, I didn't have an asset for the throne, but just imagine that the throne you see is a throne made out of people. And so you guys have seen a Gorgon once before, frozen in the Frost Gauntlet. Tithonia's a little bigger. She would be considered a large creature, and on the higher end of that as well. She runs her hands through these writhing vipers upon her head.
Welcome, honorable guests indeed. I understand you come to treat with me. You think yourself so bold so as to wander into my domain. I am interested to hear what you have to say.
I kind of sidle over to Xanthi and just go, "What's the name of that piece of divinity we're after here again?"
Nimiras?
Hi! And Scatinius, who I think at the moment is a bit further back, kind of awkwardly shuffles himself past it.
She holds
Sorry,
her hands up to her hand up to silence you.
I smell the mistress upon you. Interesting.
Well, perhaps I'm best placed for these negotiations then.
What is your
You
name,
have something.
disciple?
Well. In birth, Simpokinetinos. Though it has been years since I've been known by that name. Now I go by a new title. Roughly translates to the Dark-Hearted, but I don't take that personally.
I speak the old tongue. Skotinos it is then.
I bow my head.
And why do you come, little Skotinos? Have you all come to be part of my throne?
Alas, there are events transpiring beyond your domain that have our interest. And something you have may aid us. A piece of the gods.
So it is not secrets you come for, but trinkets.
But secrets we have in trade.
Do you now? Isn't that interesting? Very well.
She waves her hand, just as this. And you're And a depression in the wall forms as it sort of slides back, and then rising up out of it, you see a statue of a mighty warrior helmed with a sort of metal crest that has almost like a hook barb shape to it. Full bronze, what might have been bronze armor once upon a time, bare arms, but the unmistakable breastplate, and all made of stone except for these twin short swords bound around his arms like threads.
Daedalus. So handsome in life. I was almost tempted to make him my pet, so he might live. But he had designs on discovering the secret. To restore his love. A cure for his dying wife, who succumbed to a terrible fever. I didn't ask for much, but the bull-headed hero thought himself invincible and tried to slay me. So brash they often are, and thus I added him to my collection. And what a prized specimen he is. The great hero Daedalus, paragon of his age. I have little care for the baubles in his arms. But to part him from them would ruin him forevermore. It would not do to me to break such a prized figurine.
Lair will
Prized
step.
toy.
Lair will step forward and say, "I can unpetrify him. We take the swords. We petrify him again."
Would that it were that simple, little one. If you unpetrify him, all his years will catch up to him in an instant, and he'll turn to dust. So my request is simple. You break it, you replace it. Bring me something of equal value that I might supplant him onto my collection. I will let you destroy one of my favorite toys, so you can have your little needles. One of you would do, but I understand being attached to one another. You may go forth from this place and bring me someone at your leisure. I can part with those blades if I am satisfied the replacement is of worth.
You are settled then on a trinket for a trinket.
Indeed. Isn't he gorgeous?
And she strokes his cheek in a more than a little creepy way.
A pity. I would have thought a secret from one of your sisters would have carried more weight.
Scotinos, I swear to the gods, you hear in your head.
She does like this face, like, as you saying, go on.
You are familiar, if not of the events of the world, but of places of note. The land of, or the underworldful city of another deity.
Did Morse forget the name of Ezelin's hometown?
It's been a while.
Vashiros.
I've been travelling. Vashiros, there we go.
It's been a while.
I know
I've not got the key mind. Well, there was a bold individual, a queen or ascended queen that used secrets from one of your sisters to keep the city under her thumb. A vile plague.
Is that all? Little one, I possess plagues and poisons that would make the Red Sea plague feel like a common cold. The Titan Malagos himself would quake when envy at the secrets I possess.
But this would be one of your sisters. One she would not retain, and one you would have over her. And then you can trade a secret for a secret in your own time.
She reaches behind her throne, almost like a magician out of nowhere, like a rabbit out of a hat, and she pulls out a thin stone tablet.
You mean this secret? Perhaps?
And dread sets in as there are some very familiar looking glyphs on that tablet.
I am no mere Gorgon, Scotinos. I am their queen! Do you think each Gorgon's secrets were all unique?
Yeah, to be honest, that was kind of,
You thought
kind
the
of-
mightiest of Pharnica's servants possessed a secret that one of her lowly thralls did not? Did not possess a secret that one of her lowly thralls did? Fucking grammar. My price is my price. A worthy, beautiful individual to become part of my menagerie. You already have my mercy that I merely allow you to replace what you would break, rather than add one unto in and of itself. So what say you, motley band of adventurers?
Can you, like, give us 1 second. We just need to do like group huddle, you know.
Oh, by all means, leave us.
And she and the acolytes, the followers of hers, the Klimaka that brought you in here, funnel out.
Can we go into like a group huddle?
Hi guys. That didn't go very well.
No, it did not.
No.
But it could have gone worse, so...
Yeah.
You tried really hard, and I respect the hustle.
Yep.
You should have seen, it went way better than when I tried to speak with Mulpadia,
dragon?
like
Oh,
a
yeah.
few days ago.
Yeah, we tried to talk to the dragon. So, what do we do now?
Well, we can go and find a replacement.
I know, a very nasty lord.
Or we just try get it and run.
We could, yes.
You're proposing that we steal from a snake that is like 3 stories tall and has 7 little henchmen around her.
You guys are making a lot of assumptions about what you can and can't hear right
Yeah.
now.
Personally, I don't like the idea of sending someone to their eternal petrification, doom, whatever.
Yeah.
So she just wants a trade for a trade, right? And she didn't say we have to do it now?
I mean, she said we could leave and bring someone, right?
That is what she said, yes. I'll specify as well that she said... Yeah, I'll give this to you. Her wording was a worthy replacement. There was, you get the sense, some intentional ambiguity there. After all, not everything in her collection is human, or is mortal, or humanoid.
Do you think it would be arrangeable that we get the swords now and then bring someone later, like the Murder King?
Would you?
Take a wild guess, child.
That's a no.
Just an idea.
What's our range? What is a suitable replacement? Because
Does anyone have
Oh, that wouldn't be any fun if I just gave that away.
Like, do you only like men? That's the question we're asking. Do you like men? Do you like women? Do you like... What's, preferences? We need preferences.
Take a look, my dear.
And sure enough, based on all the statues I've seen, that there is no preference on age, gender, ethnicity, species.
Love that for her. I really do love that for her.
So just a completely wild, just throwing it out there, just because, it's the way that magic is, and it's not like, just have to stress this, it's not murder. How attached are you to Couplet?
I'm in. I'm all in. Let's go. If it'll get us hit, let's go.
Couplet makes
Although I will say that Couplet
just start scampering.
I will say that Couplet has a collar now, so it would be a little harder to just offer up Couplet.
You could take it off the collar, and then she won't have a collar anymore.
I'll say as well, by the way, anyone who's been looking at her in the eye, you're out of her range, and you knew that. Gorgons, you have to be close enough for that to affect, but you're on the cusp of it, so it's just a feeling, but you do feel this, you're almost forced to sort of look at her mouth, or sort of look at her forehead, because actually locking eyes with her for too long, you're almost like your jaw begins to clench, and It's a unsettling, faint paralytic feeling that you can't do. You shake off.
Don't like any of those options.
I mean, by all means, try and take them. If you think you have the stones.
That was a play on words, by the way, because if she looks at us, it turns us into.
Honestly, I kind of like her. I respect the hustle.
So, in relation to this map, where is Stony Boy?
So where you see black, like over here where I'm circling my mouse, there is, like, it's not on this map, but there are, like, walls, and he's in an inlet in the wall that appeared. Like all kind of opened up. So he's about here in the wall.
Part of the wall, though?
No. He is, like, inside the wall. Like, a cubby
okay.
opened up, like, where that slid down.
So is it possible to whisper at all without them, without her hearing?
We can back up down the corridor if need be, but snakes.
Yeah.
This is a Omega level being, basically. Not really.
I mean, Hilaria can talk in people's minds.
I can.
But you can't reply.
But can Bethenia respond? Yeah. Can I slip a note to Dolisa?
It's like high school, like love notes.
Like, hold on, just let me get out my college blog and.
Guys, I'm trying really hard here to, like, give you an opportunity to not have to fight the Gorgon. You can fight her.
We're trying not to fight. We're just.
But you're slipping notes in front of her.
Detention.
Can I just, like, grab your wrist before you take out your parchment? Like,
Taking a piss, yeah?
I think in amongst the Discord, sorry. Delisa makes her way from the group towards Ithonia.
Do I see this? I am keeping
can we
eyes
stop
on
you,
everyone.
please?
Wait, what are you doing? Where are you going? What'd you say?
Okay, you move forward.
Yeah, she.
Okay. One.
I stop her. I try to
I try to
grapple
stop
her.
her as well.
Okay. Roll. Dolisa, do you let them stop you, or do you keep going? As in, do you try to escape their grasp?
No, I let it happen, and as you grab me, she says, "This is the only way."
Alyssa?
Not happening.
No.
Echo.
Couplet first before
Not
you.
a
We
question.
have to, like, at
My
least try this.
firstborn. Like, my firstborn before you.
You need this piece of divinity more than me.
We need you. We need your powers. We need this. No, just don't think about it.
Alyssa? Echo. Now.
So while this is happening, can I shout out? Like, can I speak to the snake?
Her name is Hithonia, but yes, continue.
Yeah, okay. Trying not to be... I have, like, tried very hard not to be completely triggered this entire time. So, Hithonia.
Okay, yeah, no, I appreciate you. I realize this was very snaky.
And so I'll look at her. Would a firstborn be suitable? A firstborn child? Should there be one in the future?
Perhaps I wasn't clear. Nothing leaves this temple until it's ready to be replaced. And furthermore, the novelty of your conversation is officially worn off. So I'm going to count to 10. And if a decision is not made, a decision will be made for you. 1.
Fine, I step forward and I cast behind me Blade Barrier.
Oh. What are you doing?
And that's where we'll end tonight's session.
I'm going to drive to the Netherlands and murder you. Like, what the fuck?
Look, I offered
Title
couplet
of
up
the
and you all said
episode.
no. This is all entirely on you guys. I had all my eggs in the basket on that trade. Ah, well.
Alrighty. Join us next week as we
Die.
roll for initiative. Virla, you beautiful human, you.
Oh my goodness.
We can still cut and run. It's all good. It's all fine. But we'll see how it goes.
Hey,
Yeah, try
nicely done, Rebecca. It's been a rocky road.
Nice.
Right. Join us next week as we pick up where we leave off today, and you guys face off against Hithonia the Cruel, having cast your die. I'll first and foremost say that I would be remiss if I did not extend a world of gratitude to the hardiest player a guy could ask for, who stuck through her fear of snakes. I hope it wasn't too terrible. I genuinely tried to keep it fairly straightforward, but thank you so much, Rebecca. Honestly, like, genuinely, it's people's lines and veils are something that should be important and respected, and when players give you an inch, it's important to acknowledge it, so consider it acknowledged. Thank you so much. As always, if you like what you see here and you want to see more, feel free to join the Discord, where you can get in on all sorts of fun and exclusive bits and bobs behind the scenes. You can even maybe watch the players like frantically, panically communicate with each other behind my back throughout all of this. And if you need to catch up on any of the VODs, you can check out our YouTube, which is under the same name, DC30. Maybe add Theros in the search bar so that it's comes up with it. Other than that, we are always here every Sunday at 7 p.m. GMT, and speaking of, a DM is nothing without his players. Scotty, since you are, as a welcome back, if you'd like to tell everybody where they can find out more about you.
You can't really, because I have a really crap social media presence. So you want to find out more about me? Come back here next Sunday.
Fair play. Tamara, take it away.
I'm still shook. Twitter, TikTok. My username is mar_innated. I don't know. Check it out to find out.
By the way, do you mind changing your Instagram to that as well?
The name is already taken.
What about 2 underscores?
I'll work something out.
Or Mara_innated_.
Yeah, I'll look into it.
And Rebecca, take it away.
Yes, I am on TikTok as Mimic for Hire or Sire for Hire. And then you can also find me on Twitch every Tuesday night at 5:30 p.m. PST doing some Spelljammer Academy. And then every other week, starting in 2 weeks, you can find me on St. Pete by Night doing some storyteller, vampire goodness. Everywhere else on the internet, you can find me as Bomb Clancy.
Perfect. Sammy, if you'd like to tell these lovely folks
Hello.
about yourself.
Yeah, I'll try. I do ASMR on YouTube at Sammy ASMR, and you can find me on all social media platforms at that same handle. And I also play another D&D live stream every Saturday at 6 p.m. UK time over on Roll Positive Gaming alongside Romeo, where we're playing Strixhaven, a curriculum of chaos.
Awesome sauce. Virla.
I need to start making a backup character. Anyways, I have Tamara yelling at me. Anyways, I have Instagram. It's virla.louisa.
Great. And for those players who couldn't join us this evening, you can catch Ali or Botch or Bakios, your favorite barbarian, at Angel Undies on Instagram, where he does a lot of cool cosplay stuff and 3D printing. Definitely check him out. His lovely lady Zoe is The Illustrated Girl on Instagram. Also, they are the ultimate cosplay couple. Definitely check them both out. A lot of fun, a lot of good content, and hopefully they'll be with us next week for this epic showdown. And to that note as well, you can find Violet or Amalia the Leonin at Violet_Riddle_, I believe, on Instagram. And check out all of her cosplay content as well. And on that note, one more time as a big shout out to our lovely audience. Witchgrove, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the Hoplites, and thank you for joining the Discord. We do so appreciate it. It's good to have you. And on that note, we'll bid you all a fond good evening and ask you if it's Sunday yet. We are DC30. Take
It's
care.
hysterical. Bye.